All right, so welcome to another deep dive, you guys. For those of you who are just fascinated by the paranormal, well, we're really about to take you on a wild ride to a place where reality and the supernatural, well, let's just say the lines get a little blurry.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're going all the way to Mumbai, India, to this place called D'Souza Chawl.
Oh, wow.
It's got all these crazy stories and occurrences, and it's really unsettling.
Right.
And for this one, we're looking at a podcast episode titled The Cursed D'Souza Chawl of Mumbai from the show Echoes of the Dead.
Gotcha.
So basically, we're going to uncover everything about this place, like the history, the hauntings, and all the mysteries that just make it so creepy.
Yeah, it's always struck me how these haunted places, they're always like right in the middle of, just normal everyday life.
Yeah. It's like hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, exactly. It's just this mix of like the ordinary and the extraordinary, and that's what makes it scary.
Yeah. It really does. Like this hidden darkness right under the surface. And D'Souza Chawl is like the perfect example.
Right.
We're talking about Mumbai, a crazy energetic city. And then boom, right in the heart of it is this chawl, a type of communal housing that they have in Mumbai, completely covered in whispers and fear.
Yeah, it's like this classic thing, right? The idea that even in these super bright and crowded places, there's always
these little pockets.
Yeah, these little pockets of shadow where something could be hiding, It plays on our fear of the unknown, I think.
Totally. Okay, so let's picture D'Souza Chawl back in the 50s.
Okay.
So it was a community full of mill workers, and, you've got these narrow lanes surrounding this central courtyard, and there's a well in the middle that everyone used.
Yeah, essential to their lives.
Totally. But this, it was this symbol of life.
Yeah.
It became the center of this tragedy that changed the chawl forever.
Wells are just so powerful symbolically. They're often seen as, sacred, I guess, a connection to the earth, lifeblood of the earth,
Like a source of life, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then when something bad happens,
yeah,
those good feelings about the well, they get all twisted and it becomes scary.
It turns into something evil.
Yeah, and think about all the stories and myths about wells being like portals to other worlds or where bad spirits live.
It's almost like this universal fear, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happened at D'Souza Chawl. So one night, this woman named Leela, she goes to the well to get water.
Okay.
And people hear her scream.
Oh, no.
But when they get to the well, she's just gone.
What?
Vanished, like they never found her body.
And that's where it all starts, right?
Uh-huh.
This unexplained disappearance just leaves everyone wondering and scared. And it just grows from there. Like a seed, planted right in the heart of the community.
It just grows and grows. And after that, things only got worse. People started seeing this woman in white near the well.
Oh, gosh.
Just standing there and staring into it. But she'd disappear if anyone got close.
I would stay so far away from that well. It's interesting, though, how it's always someone near the tragedy.
Right.
Like they can't leave, like trapped between worlds.
Yeah, I get that.
It really makes you think about if spirits can get stuck.
It really does. Some residents did avoid the well, but the stories just spread like wildfire.
I bet.
It wasn't just sightings, though.
Oh, no. What else?
So this family, the Patils, they said they could hear Leela's voice at night calling their names.
Oh, wow.
And when the father went to check, he found muddy footprints leading from the well to their door.
Footprints are so creepy.
I know.
It's like proof that something was there. It makes it real. Did anyone else see the footprints, or was it just him?
Yeah, that's a great question. You'd think people would just avoid the well completely, but maybe they were curious.
I could see that.
Or wanted to understand what happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tragedy and mystery, they always go together, and people want to understand.
Yeah, it's like they can't help but be drawn to it. And the stories from D'Souza Chawl, they just keep getting creepier. It's not just like seeing her or hearing weird noises anymore. It starts to get, more evil feeling. There's a story about this auto rickshaw driver, Abdul.
Okay.
And he says that he was attacked by something he couldn't see while he was washing his hands at the well. He said he felt these ice cold fingers around his neck.
That's different.
It is.
It's not just like an apparition or sounds. Now it's like physical,
Yeah, like it can actually hurt you.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if whatever it is there is like changing, growing, or maybe even feeding off of everyone being scared.
It's a scary thought for sure. It's like the more time passes, the more haunted the chawl gets.
Right.
And what's interesting is the story about Abdul happened before this other event that made D'Souza Chawl famous for being haunted.
Okay.
But we'll get to that in a little bit. First, I want to talk about what the residents did about all this. I mean, they actually brought in priests from a church and a mosque to do these cleansing rituals.
Wow.
But it didn't work. Nothing changed.
It's interesting, though, that no matter what people believe,
right,
they turn to religion when things get scary.
Yeah.
Like, it's this basic human need to find a way to fight what we're afraid of.
I see that. Like, they wanted to get rid of all the bad energy, but it just wouldn't go away. Makes you think, are there some things we just can't explain, even with religion?
It's a question people have been asking forever.
Yeah.
Like, where's the line between what we can and can't explain? How can we be logical, but also have these experiences that make no sense? It's fascinating to think that maybe there are things that we just can't control, no matter how hard we try.
It's true. Okay, so we've got this chawl full of mystery, and the stories just get scarier and scarier.
Yeah.
But then something happens that makes the whole thing even more interesting.
Why happen?
A group of college students, they heard about D'Souza Chawl, and they decided to spend the night there like they were daring the ghost to show up.
Oh, no.
And guess what?
What?
Something did happen.
This is where it gets good. So all this time, it was just stories from the people living there.
Exactly.
But now it's people from outside the community who have no connection to the place, and they get scared too.
One of the students says he saw the woman in white come out of the, like she was reaching for him. He was totally freaked out. And this guy, he didn't grow up with these stories or anything. It's like the chawl was getting even more powerful and drawing people in.
So does that mean that just by believing something can make it real?
That's a good question. Or did the hauntings make the stories?
Right. That's what makes it so interesting. We want an answer, but maybe the mystery is the best part.
Maybe. And it's not just the college kids that make this so interesting.
Okay.
People still live in D'Souza Chawl today.
Really?
Yeah. They sealed the well with cement. But people say the paranormal stuff is still happening. Some say they still hear water splashing at night.
So they tried to lock something up that they're scared of and don't understand, but can you really lock up something supernatural?
I don't know.
Or does it just find a different way to show itself?
Right, like it's still there. It's like a reminder of what happened there and how powerful these stories are. But what's really interesting to me is how do people live there every day with all this going on?
That's where psychology and the paranormal meet. You know, how do they make sense of it? Do they just get used to it? Or do they just live with the fact that their home is haunted?
It's definitely a different way to live, to accept that there are things we just don't understand.
Yeah.
So the big question is D'Souza Chawl actually haunted, or is there something else going on?
That's what we're trying to figure out. We've got these crazy stories, things getting worse, and how it affects the people who live there. But what does it all mean? Are ghosts real, or are people just letting their imaginations run wild?
Yeah. It's a tough one. You've got all those details like footprints and voices and even people getting attacked. But are those like proof of a haunting, or is something else causing them?
It just how hard it is to tell if something's really paranormal or if our minds are playing tricks on us. Like we're always trying to find patterns and make sense of things, even when they're random. And when you add fear into the mix, well, things get even more messed up.
So you're saying some of this stuff could be explained by how our brains work, not ghosts?
It could be. Take the woman in white, for example. She's in so many ghost stories everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
What if people are just seeing what they expect to see?
Like they're already expecting something spooky, so they see it.
Exactly. Yeah. Plus, think about how stories change over time.
Yeah, they get exaggerated.
Exactly. Like a game of telephone. The original story gets all distorted.
But what about those college kids who had never heard the stories before? That's hard to explain away.
It is. They definitely make things more complicated. Maybe they were just caught up in the atmosphere, you know, expecting to see something paranormal. Or maybe D'Souza Chawl really does have some kind of energy that affects people differently.
So maybe the chawl itself is like this hub for all these weird experiences, whether it's ghosts or our minds messing with us.
Exactly. And that's what I love about these cases. They make us think about what's real.
Right.
And if there are things out there we just don't get.
So where does that leave us? Do we have to pick between believing in ghosts or saying it's all in our heads?
Not really. I think it's cooler to just accept that we don't know for sure.
Okay.
Maybe some things have a normal explanation and some things just don't.
It's like a reminder that we still don't know everything about the world, which is kind of exciting.
For sure. The things we don't know are what keep us curious and wanting to learn more.
So after all this, what do you think? Is D'Souza Chawl really haunted, or is it just people's imaginations?
That's up to you to decide. We've looked at everything we could find.
Yeah, we did.
And now it's your turn to figure out what you believe.
Maybe there isn't one right answer. Maybe it's more about how we try to make sense of things we don't understand and how powerful belief really is. And who knows? Maybe someday you'll have your own weird experience and you'll be asking yourself the same questions we talked about today.
Until then, keep an open mind, always question things, and never stop learning about the paranormal world. It's pretty fascinating.